Hello everyone, Reza here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be taking a look at the brand new MetaHuman characters in Unreal Engine 5.6. One of the most powerful tools for creating lifelike digital humans. We'll start by setting up our very first character. Then we move into body blend, conform, and model types, and I will explain those. I'll also show you how to control and reshape the head of your MetaHuman character. We adjust the materials and we wrap up with body masks and MetaHuman blueprints. In case if you are curious about cloth assets in Unreal Engine, not to worry. I'll be publishing a follow-up video that continues right from here and ties perfectly into this tutorial. As always, if you find this tutorial helpful, please like and subscribe for more MetaHuman and Unreal Engine guides. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and run Unreal Engine 5.6, and I'm going to select film. I'm going to go to blank. I'm going to call this MetaHuman characters. You don't need to change anything else. We actually don't have much when you choose film, so I'm just going to go ahead and create. Fantastic. First thing we want to do, we want to enable MetaHuman plugins. So I'm going to go to plugin, type in MetaHuman, and pretty much I'm going to enable all of these guys, and we need to give the application another round of restart. Experimental with MetaHuman runtime, and it's a depreciated plugin, so I'm just going to leave it as is and hit restart. Now, once those plugins are installed and ready to go, we are going to see that we have a MetaHuman manager here. Also, if I go ahead and create a folder, let's call this MetaH for MetaHuman, and right click, we have MetaHuman with a bunch of actors and tool sets available to us. So I'm going to pick MetaHuman asset. I'm going to call it MHC for MetaHuman character underscore your name. It's just a template. You put the character's name instead of your name. This is just a placeholder, and I'm going to press enter, and let's double click. I'm getting the error of missing project settings. Why not enabling that? I'm going to dock that right next to my main, and we need to give it another round of restart and save. Now I wanted to run into an error which I think you might run into if you're not careful, and if you install Unreal Engine 5 without certain options, you will get this. What does this do? If I go into here, we have no assets because simply the core data is missing. You might say, Reza, I'm confused. I installed Unreal Engine 5.6. Why am I getting this? Well, it has nothing to do with this application here. The installation from Epic Launcher was sort of incomplete. Let me show you how to fix this really quick. Simply launch Epic Launcher, Unreal Engine, and Library. I'm going to go in here and pick options. And look at that. MetaHuman creator core data is missing. So if you ever run into this prompt, do not move forward, stop, enable it, and I'm going to go apply. It starts downloading, as you can see, and adding that component to my MetaHuman package. Once it's done, we're going to go back. I will walk you through a step-by-step on how to proceed from that point onward. Now we got that little warning sorted. It's time to create a brand new MetaHuman character. I'm going to right-click in my content drawer, MetaHuman character. just like before, MHC and your character or your name. And you can replace that with the name of your character. I might as well call that your name. Pressing enter on it, and it's going to dock itself right next to the main. That's the typical user interface. Left mouse button hold, orbit. Middle mouse button is going to pan, and right mouse button is going to zoom. Of course, you can do that with the scroller on your mouse. Right on top, we have the topology that shows the topology, of course, and then skin preview shows all the colors, and clay, great for sculptors if they really want to get into all the nitty-gritty of the anatomy for the character. Having said that, if you're in topology and switch to tabs like material, it's going to switch the mode automatically into skin because, well, material is all about colors, and you can't really see that with topology. Then you've got light rigs through Studio. Well, this Studio is a light rig. You can go and change that light rig to something else. I kind of generally like that, but not at the beginning of the process. Later on, we will see that we are going to add so many bits and pieces, and we kind of need to have that neutral color looking without too much light pollution. Then you have your framing button, which is set to auto. What does this mean? It means that if you go to the body, the camera automatically zooms back. If you go to the head, you zoom in to the head. You can stay at all time to look at the face, body, or look at things from afar. I like to set that to auto and not to worry about it. Of course, we've got the level of details, LODs. We're previewing and we want to see accurately, so we want to look at the highest resolution for all the features that we have on the character and for rendering as well. So we've got medium, which is going to eliminate anti-aliasing, and it's going to remove all the shadows. We have high and epic. So based on your need, you may want to choose one over another, but that's fairly self-explanatory. Now, we've got a few tabs here: preset, body, head, material, hair, and outfit, and eventually assemble. And they're sequentially placed in here. It means that you can, if you want, formulate it and go from top to bottom. As a matter of fact, if you want to pick a strong starting point, presets are pretty good because they come in with everything, with groom, with outfit, and you just bring them over and you start tweaking them and use them in your project. The only reason that I'm not using a preset is because I want the character not to have any outfits, so I can export them into let's say Marvelous Designer and create my own outfit in the future videos. So that's perhaps the main reason that I'm not using any presets, but you can certainly use that if having an outfit is not a concern to you. Then in the body, we have three main modes. We have blend, we have conform, and model. With blend, you can blend up to 3 body presets globally or by region. You can blend skeletal proportions or surface shapes separately, or you can have an impact on both of them if you want. And in the blend, you get these dots. It's very common. As soon as you click on it, this mimics this. So you go up, you move towards the silhouette of this body right here. You turn that to left hand side. You can see the silhouette changes. Now it's kind of matching the era. And I go to the right hand side. I'm matching towards this character right here. And at any point of time, you can sort of undo if you're not happy with the result. Or you can delete these presets and bring different ones, which I brought pretty much the same character. So that's that. Conform fits the body to external data. So what happens usually is when you create a MetaHuman character, it generates a .dna file which can be repurposed in moments like this. When you bring that DNA file from your old MetaHuman characters and recycle it, you can also bring a template, static or skeletal mesh templates that uses MetaHuman topology. So that is actually very important, that whatever you bring as static mesh or skeletal mesh needs to be compatible with MetaHuman topology. If for whatever reason you want to conform both head and body, do the body first, and this avoids misalignment later. So kind of keep that in mind. Now, my absolute favorite, which is new in 5.6, is parametric mode, where you have sliders for height, proportions, neck, upper torso, lower torso, and get to a very refined result. So you can start from the height. If you're happy with 171 cm, you can pin that. And as soon as you make a change in each section, a guide or a helper will show up, and you can turn off that helper in the body parameters, show measurements. You can turn it on and off if you want. I always leave that on. But with the height now pinned, I can go and sort of change the body shape, make it more feminine or masculine if I want. And the funny part is, well, not funny, but the amazing part, I should say, is as soon as you move one of them, the rest of them are going to adjust themselves to cater for that particular need of yours. But you still can go and manually change every single one of them. What it doesn't do is it's not going to change the one that you pin. Now you can see all of these guys are pinned. Now I can go and work on some extra stuff like a cross shoulder. And as soon as I make a change to any of these sections, you can see again another guide will show up telling me that you've made a change to that area in case if you want to go back to it later. Time to move to head. And with head, we still have blend. So you can bring 3 heads and switch between 3 different presets with that triangle. You can use conform pretty much using the DNA file, template, and identity. Instead of having a model, now I have transform and sculpt. That's the big change. So with transform, you can change stuff in screen space, you can rotate, or you can uniformly scale something. Transform is mainly for big moves, big strokes, big changes. For example, I can very carefully move the cheeks in a little bit, give it a bit of a contour, if I may. Transform can be really good if you want to create some sci-fi looking character, completely break all the rules, move the eyes up, bring the mouth to the side, stuff like this, and that's going to take away the realism. Perhaps that's what you want to do. Then we have sculpt, which is all about fine details. So I'm holding Alt and zooming in. You can change the size of your brush. You can bring it down for subtle changes. Make sure symmetric manipulation is on in case if you want to, for example, make a change to one eye, you can see it's actually changing the other eye as well. I can lower or pushing in the nostrils. I can make the both lips, upper and lower lips, a bit fuller. So much you can do with this particular option here that is available, and you will basically take it from there. You can align neck to body if you make significant changes, just to be able to reshape and correct the anatomy. So Once that's done and you're happy with all of these changes, you switch to material. So in the head, you have teeth and eyelashes as well, where you can open the jaw and change the proportion of the teeth. For example, if you want the teeth to be super clean, you can push it on the right hand side. You want a little bit of irregularity and realism, you push that to the left hand side. So all of these options are available to you, and that's incredible. The level of details that you can go through to create a character is just impressive. Then materials is all about the skin tone, makeup. If you want to have, let's say, freckles, you can change the oiliness of the skin. So you add a roughness, you reduce roughness based on the nature of the skin. You can change the color of the skin without playing too much with subsurface scattering. So I can go ever so slightly on the bronze side and just change the tone. These are really subtle changes. Even with freckles, if you feel like the density is too much, you can just ever so slightly reduce that, but you can make them more prominent, increase the saturation and the strength if you want. You can go ahead and basically target a particular area and increase the redness. Let's say redness of the nose, you can change that if you want, or the cheeks, you can increase a little bit of redness in here. With eyes, that's pretty much the same story. So if I zoom in on one of the eyes, you can change the color of the eyes and the iris. You can even pick a slightly different iris if you want. How incredibly those are going to change. And that's the benefit of staying in the studio light rig as opposed to other light rigs, because you can't really see much when you change that. So keep that in mind. You can add makeups. So I'm going to perhaps give this just a tad of makeup. I'm going to add blush. I'm going to add lipstick. You can even increase the roughness on the lipstick so it's not too glossy. Change the opacity, even go in here and change the color of the lipstick if you want. And once that's done, we switch to hair. So a lot of different options to choose from. It's just unbelievable the amount of controls that we have in each section. I just picked one. If something that you pick you don't like this one, the eyebrows, you feel like that's a wrong one, you can just double click on it again and it will go away. You don't need to right click, you don't need to press delete on anything, just double click. And you can see the icon says that if I add it, you can see this little guy shows up, this icon saying that this has been applied. Double click, it will go away. So I'm going to add thick eyebrows here. Now with any item that you add, you have this one details panel, which is going to look into all of this. Like for example, with eyebrows, you have some details to choose from and to work with. With hair, we have the same thing where you have this melanin slider. I'm going to increase that, makes the hair darker, as you can see. You can add redness to it if you want, increase, decrease roughness. You can even highlight it if you want and sort of increase and decrease that. That would be your choice, and you take it from there. Now, the other option that we have available, if I go all the way down, I perhaps can, while I'm at it, go long curl for the eyelashes. The other item would be peach fuzz that I usually add, great for cinematic, but for games obviously would be a bit of an overkill. And if you're wondering what the peach fuzz is, those tiny I would say fur-looking small tiny hair around the lips, all over the face, around the nostrils. Now, I would not add outfit clothing right now, and I will explain why. So if your intention is to take this body into another application and create outfit for it, just duplicate it right now. So I'm going to go duplicate, and I'm going to call that without outfit. Now, this without outfit is for me to export this character with this body anatomy into another application. You may say, what's the deal, Reza? What's going to happen to this one? Well, as soon as you add outfit, it's going to crop part of the body that is under the fabric. And then you can't really take that into, let's say, Marvelous Designer as your base, as your template. So I'm just going to have that here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to open it. I'm going to dock it. And I'm going to go into MetaHuman character, export combined skeletal mesh. I'm just going to go save. And then if I look here, well, the textures are all over the place, but we don't mind. We just want the character body and head. You can see that I have full geometry, right? Now let's go into the your name with outfit and start adding outfit. Now there are two topics that I would like to talk about. What the resizable outfit does if you change the shape of your character, and the second item, what it does to the actual body. And that's why I duplicated this MetaHuman character here, which you later on can remove. But for now, I'm going to stay in here and I'm going to double click. Now this resizable outfit is incredible. Why? Because if you ever make a decision to change the body, the outfit is going to resize itself to the new shape. First things first, let's give it some colors. So I'm going to scroll down, should be somewhere here, outfit clothing. So I'm going to give this a purple-ish type of color. It's not going to update unless you press OK. We've got some seams, so seams can stay white. For the pants, with this color, I'm going to go with something like that. Should work. Not worried about seams, basically. And now, if I, just for the sake of comparison, go to Export Skeletal Mesh, and just call this your name export. And compare these two. This is without outfit and this is with outfit. If I bring up with outfit, you can see Unreal Engine has gone ahead and cropped areas that are under our outfit. You may have noticed that's why I duplicated this before I add an outfit. So I have now this guy. I can right click on it, go Asset Actions, I can go Export, and within the folder that I've created, I can go to MD, Marvelous Designer. If you want to be very descriptive, you can go _FBX because that's the extension that you are going to export from. There will be other videos that I would really like to create, if the time allows, obviously, that I will go over USD workflow, which is kind of more common in bigger studios, but we're just going to stay with FBX for now. I'm going to go save. In here, you need to make sure that level of details is off because we're not really dealing with level of details. Collision is off. Make your file lighter. There won't be any collision in Marvelous Designer. So I'm just going to go export. Now that mesh we just exported is now the one that you bring into other software packages to make your outfit and eventually you bring that outfit into Unreal Engine and add it as an outfit asset to your character. Beyond the scope of this video, but I will hopefully talk about it in the next video. Now let's switch back to our character that we have right now and talk about resizable outfit. Why are they so incredible? Well, as I gave you a little hint on it, if I were to just change something, I'm going to unpin the fat attribute and I make a decision to just go with a slightly different shape. Let's say this. Look how outfit is going to readjust itself to cater for the character. Simply incredible. And this is something that I really would like to do in the next video, but first we need to have that FBX, which we have right now. So once it's all done and once you're all happy with the proportion of your character, it's time to create full rig. Now, it's very important to create a full rig when you're done. If you create a full rig and then you go back and make changes, then you have no choice but to remove the rig and then recreate the full rig. Keep that in mind. It's not like it's going to magically adapt itself to the rig. You have to delete the old one, create a new one. Keep that in mind. Let's create a full rig because at the end of the day, the goal is to get 2D assembly. We want to assemble our character. We can now switch to assembly. As the hint suggests, there is one more step, one tiny step that we need to make things ready for assembly. Well, first things first, you may ask, what is assembly? Assembly is the step where your MetaHuman character turns into ready-to-use asset for your project. You can literally drag and drop it, retarget your animation, keyframe it. It comes with rigs and all the controls ready to go. And yes, it's that simple. So let's go into download texture sources. I'm going to go with 4K. I always tend to target cinematic. If it's for games, 2K will do just fine. And we are ready to go. Sometimes this green button doesn't show up immediately. In that case, just toggle between tabs and you should get it with no issues. We've got 3 modes, well, 4 modes to choose from. Unreal Engine Cine, which is really good, ideal for full cinematic quality. It gives you the highest detail. And again, it's perfect for offline cinematic rendering or high quality real-time rendering, kind of quality over performance, so to speak. You have UE Optimize. This is still good for cinematic, but it's optimized for better performance in real time, like games. And with that optimization, then you get the quality, low, medium, high. And you can always tap into the documentation to see which requirement you need for your game. Then you have UEFN export, exports MetaHuman directly into Unreal Editor for Fortnite, UEFN. And again, with that, you get 3 qualities, high, medium, and low. And you need to close UEFN before running this. Just keep that in mind. And then, of course, we have DCC export, where it exports head DNA, face DNA, textures as a zip file for third-party applications like Maya, Houdini, or Blender. For now, I'm going to go and pick the highest quality, and let's go assemble and see what happens when assembling is done. Now, this process might take up to 5 minutes, so I guess go and get a cup of tea or something if you're doing this. Now, let's see what we're getting at the end of it. So if you're doing this as your Unreal Engine Cine or Unreal Engine Optimize, you get the skeletal mesh for body, for the head, for teeth, for eyes, etc. You get all the materials, including the skin material, hair material, eyes material, and the clothing. You get textures, high-resolution maps, diffuse base color, normal, roughness, specular, etc. And you get animation blueprints and physics assets for clothes, for hair simulation, or what have you. If you're doing it as UEFN export, well, the result will be migrated directly into your target UEFN project folder, and you're pretty much ready to go. All you need to do is just to go to Content Browser and find it. All of them are under MetaHumans folder. I guess that's why I called this MetaH, because if you create another MetaHuman folder, it's just going to confuse Unreal Engine. Call this guy something else. Now, as I said, in here, MHC, your name, which is the name of this character right here, I've got the body, baked material, and I get the physical assets, skeletal mesh for the clothing, I get the skeletal mesh for the outfit and the materials. These are material instances, so if I double click on them, you can see they are very, very thorough. Again, hopefully, if I get to the second video, I should be able to teach you all of this, how to get that if need be. Then for the face itself, because, well, this is for the body, for the face, you have pretty much the same thing. Materials for the eyes, for the eyelashes, the skin, with different levels of details. You have the textures, original textures, and the groom. So what's going to happen after all of that? You can go into the MetaHuman that you have created. You have the blueprint. That is the one that you bring into your project. You can see the face, we have the skeletal mesh, we've got the body, we've got fuzz, eyebrows, hair, eyelashes. We don't have any mustache, so feel free to select them, delete them. Nothing dramatic is going to happen. Just compile and save and go into your main and just simply drag and drop this character and she should be ready to go. You just, all you need to do is to either enable the rigging capabilities in the animation mode, or you want to retarget it to a mocap animation, which is fairly straightforward. So if I go into animation and create a level sequence somewhere, I can just easily select my character, this character right here, drag and drop it in, and there I have all the controls beautifully named and ready to go. It's got full GUI on the side as well, which is always great to see. If I deselect, Control L, so you can see actually the character and all of its details. Absolutely wonderful. So where to next? What's going to happen after this video? I'm going to put together another video using this character that I made, well, without outfit, and then we are going to bring it into Marvelous Designer just to create an outfit for it. Then we bring it into Unreal Engine and see how we can mimic what we had with the resizable outfit. So that is it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if I was a bit fast, but I assume that almost all of you have a little bit of knowledge in the new great MetaHuman capabilities that we have in Unreal Engine 5.6 or higher versions. And we're going to pick up where we left off very soon. Thank you again for your support and see you guys in the next video.